Hello, everyone. I am Kentia Smith. I am the NC Realtors Housing Foundation Director. I hope you are doing well. We are filming a series. As you know, I love to talk to people and let people know about our foundation and our members. And so the foundation is starting to film a series that I am so happy about called Meet Our Foundation. This is where we do interviews with our directors. And so I am so thrilled to have this interview with Mr. Mark Connor. Mr. Mark, I feel like whenever there's a historical question, I am told by Caitlin and anyone else to ask you because you are truly, truly a wonderful knowledge about the Realtor Association. And I truly want to thank you for being here to do this interview with me.
Thank you. My
So I
pleasure.
always start, even though I know the answer to this question, some may not, I always start off with, are you a North Carolina native?
I am. I'm originally born and raised in the Hickory, North Carolina area,
Mm-hmm.
and been in the Triangle area of Raleigh now for about close to 30 years. So
Okay.
um, Raleigh says they claim me.
So I always want to know, was real estate your first selection, or what other career did you start off saying you thought you were going to pursue?
Well, I have a degree in business and sports management,
Okay,
and
I didn't know that.
originally, yes, and originally when I um, graduated from college, I looked at a couple of opportunities in the sports industry, and
Mm-hmm.
there was a hiring freeze. And I also looked at some opportunities with the federal government up in the Maryland, D.C. Area,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a hiring freeze there. So I had a cousin that was actually a manager at IBM,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually moved to Raleigh and started out working with IBM many moons ago, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what I started in, was the IBM track.
Was we still using floppy disk when you started, or had we
Actually, yeah.
graduated to CDs? Okay, so
No, we were still floppy disks. Yes, I'm aging myself, but yes, we were still using them.
I remember those with in the elementary and stuff. So I
Yeah.
know that you have been on this board several times, but I still want our members and the people watching this to know what made you join the foundation? Like how did you get involved initially?
Well, I was a 2008 NCR Leadership Academy graduate,
Mm-hmm.
and the other 12 or 11 individuals that were in my class, we call ourselves the Great '08. All right, best leadership
Y'all done
class
gave yourself a name.
that's right, the best leadership class there was. And so I was already involved with my local board, the Raleigh
Mm-hmm.
Regional Association's
Mm-hmm.
leadership. I was on the board, and then I was on NCR boards
Mm-hmm.
and things of that nature. And so um, there was an agent out of the down east, near ECU, that area, that
Mm-hmm.
mentioned to me. She said, "You know what? You ought to get involved with the foundation." And so I got on the foundation's board, and from there, um, I was pushed to go into the exec committee, and eventually become the president. And so
Mm-hmm.
I actually have been president of the foundation 3 different terms or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And currently I sit in the role of the affordable housing chair. And what it is for me is the charitable side, or the philanthropic arm of NCR, and
Mm-hmm.
it's the feel good for me that,
Mm-hmm.
when
Mm-hmm.
you see people, whether it be helping them get into a home, or
Mm-hmm.
helping make some repairs to a home, or
Mm-hmm.
just community involvement. That's the joy that I get out of it, and just helping people.
And you are a remarkable resource, and you have been an amazing president. When I started, you were president, and I truly can say you were a great support and always willing to let me learn from you. What is it
Thank you.
that you really want people to know about the foundation? What is it you think they don't know, or they may know, but you really hope they do know?
Well, I think that the biggest thing is getting the message of all the different things that the foundation has done and is
Mm-hmm.
still doing. And we are an amazing group.
Mm-hmm.
we're a working board who
Mm-hmm.
puts in a lot of hours, that of course all of this is volunteer. The board is volunteer, but I think the major thing is the new initiative that we have, which is the 100 homes in 100 counties, which is major. Our last year's president, Michelle, put that into motion, and I think it was a great initiative that she put
Mm-hmm.
out, and it's given us a real focus. And from the grant standpoint, for grants that we're going after, I think
Mm-hmm.
this helps us quite a bit because we have a huge focus on making sure that affordable housing is in place, and we're pushing that initiative. I mean, if you look in the news and big topic with, the governmental fronts, affordable housing is always a huge topic. And I think that's one of the things that we, want to make sure that folks know that we are, trying to serve our mission, which is to help homeowners get into affordable housing.
I couldn't agree more. As I always tell people, I have no background in real estate. I wish I do because I think I'd be worth a little bit more than I am now. But I know housing, I know challenges, I know people's needs as a social worker. You are exactly right. Housing is always at the forefront. When I speak about housing, I am especially working with the homeless, I always tell them everything ties into secure housing, education, medical needs. All this ties into secure housing. And I agree with you more. I definitely think that this foundation, had a couple years of realizing that we want to do more and we can. And now we are trying to refocus our direction because COVID affected a lot of things. And I don't think people realize how much it affected nonprofits, but it really did. It stagnated it. It some gave some people direction. It gave some people heightened money, but it had an impact regardless. And so for us to take this initiative from President Michelle and, like you said, and push it to the forefront, it may only be 7 counties that we've done now, but it will eventually be 100. So I couldn't agree with you anymore. And you may have already answered this, but I'm still
And
going to ask it.
speaking
What
to
is your
I was just saying, and speaking to that 7 counties, you
yeah,
you got to realize that's quite a bit in
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 one
a
year?
year's time,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
and not even really a full year.
No, no, no. And you know what I appreciate is because of those, our members are seeing what we do and they appreciate it and they're wanting to support. I tell people all the time, I love promoting this foundation, but I love promoting it to people who may have heard of it, but now they're really holding it and appreciate it. And I was gonna say, you may have answered this question, but which of the foundation's initiatives do you like most? I know you were around for a lot of the disaster relief and things like that, but I still want to ask that question. Which of our initiatives do you like the most?
Well, I think the disaster relief was a great initiative. I think
Mhm,
we did a phenomenal job with that. Um, but I think because that's something that, doesn't happen every year
mhm,
or whatever, I think for me, it was more of the education
mhm,
and
mhm,
and the down payment assistance program.
mhm,
Because again, we are realtors, and
mhm,
our job is to help homeowners get into safe and affordable housing when
mhm,
they need that help. And so I think that was one of the big initiatives that I really felt was really good for the foundation, is helping homeowners get into homes, educating those homeowners on not only getting in the home, but how to stay in the home and maintain their home. And like I said, we have a really great thing that we do as realtors, and that is to get people into homes. And it's usually one of the largest financial purchases they make in their lifetime. And it's one of those things that I take to heart because it's helping people create generational wealth. And,
mhm.
and so, that's the initiative that I really thought was one of the major things that we were doing, prior to the 100 homes in 100 counties, was the education and down payment assistance program.
I think that's an awesome response. I agree more. And then I love what we're doing now with our education program, even extending it more to like putting resources together and educating these buyers on where to start, where to go locally and statewide. So I couldn't agree even more. And then I always end with a question that the directors don't know, but it's kind of a fun one. As we transition into the spring and the summer, what kind of lets Mark Connor know like the spring and summer is here? I love all the seasons, fall, winter, but I always feel like each transition of the season brings, something different. What is your big key of like knowing spring and summer is here?
Well, I'm a golfer, okay?
Oh, yeah,
And
that's true.
and so, I have this rule, okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
that it's called the 48 or 50 degree rule,
Uh-huh.
meaning that as long as it's about 48 degrees or 50 degrees and it's not cold outside or
Hmm.
wind blowing, then I'll go out and play. But when it starts to hit that 60 degrees, 70 degrees, then I know the season is definitely upon us. And then the other major thing about it is when the Masters happen down in Augusta. So
Yeah.
it just does something to me. And matter of fact, while I'm speaking to you now, I'm getting cold chills on thinking about the or goosebumps on thinking about the Masters. So that's when I know that the season is changing. And then from a business standpoint, you know, when folks are out in the cold, they're usually not tire kickers. They're usually
Hmm.
pretty serious. But
Hmm.
the market gets a little um, more intense when the weather changes and spring and flowers start to bloom and folks want
Hmm.
to get out there and start looking for houses. So
Yes, I couldn't agree more. Are you going to make it to the PGA in Pinehurst this year?
I sure am. I definitely that is definitely on the list. Yes.
I think you are an amazing director, Mr. Moore. You are a
Thank you.
wealth of knowledge, and I truly want to tell you I appreciate you doing this interview with me.
And I think you are an amazing director, and we're
Thank you. And
grateful and
coming
lucky
from
to
you,
have you.
I value that because I know it's sincere and truthful. So thank you so much.
Thank you.